Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Muay Thai Save Me podcast. My name is Kimberly and I'm going to be hosting this one with the hosters of the podcast. So
we're hosters.
The hosters.
Hoster mania. Remember that?
Oh.
Ooh, I kind of like that. Some people won't know if they're not old.
What is that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to do another episode with you guys and again dive in deeper with questions, your background, how MTK came about. I think those episodes are always so interesting.
Okay.
I agree.
But I think it would only be right to start off with who is most likely to part 2.
Oh, I like that.
All right.
Let's go.
I got sweaty pits all of a sudden.
All right, guys. You guys remember last time where I'll say a sentence and you guys will just be like, Edwin, Neil is most likely to.
Okay, go.
Okay, ready? Let's go. Who is most likely to say something inappropriate during a meeting?
Edwin.
Me.
Really? I would say Neil.
What?
Because you pop out randomly with some...
But he says weird shit.
Don't change
I
the
say
subject.
You say
Don't
weird
change.
shit.
How do I say weird?
Like, just
I might say
weird.
sexual
Like-
stuff.
Like,
Yeah, there you
obviously,
go.
like,
Exactly.
We
Sexual
say
stuff.
sexual innuendos, but you'll be very raw with it.
Yeah.
True.
Like that shit is straight.
Okay,
It
I'm
doesn't
raising
even
my
go
hand
to
for
soft
myself.
porn. You know, it's just straight Pornhub. You know.
Not Skinamax, right? It's just
Yeah,
Pornhub.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Who is most likely to take the night off? Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Who is most likely to
Neil.
take the day off
Oh.
after partying the previous night?
Neil.
I don't even party, so
But if he did,
that question.
I would attack you pretty bad.
I've never done that though. I've always, even when me and Edwin would go out, I would still be at work the next day. I would be tired as heck, but I would still be there. So
Yeah.
I don't think that question applies to us.
Yeah, I don't
because
think
I know
neither of
Edwin
you
wouldn't do it
guys.
either.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So NA,
Sorry.
Who is most likely to get drunk after one drink?
Neil.
that would be me. Yeah.
Didn't you say you have a story of Neil where he took one shot and you were like, you are not drunk, bro? And he was
Yeah,
like,
remember we went to, we went a couple of times to Clockwork Orange. Yeah, and then I would come on, take one. And eventually he would crack and he'd take a shot. And he just gets giggly. And then
Just
yeah. Yeah, he's just like,
like a schoolgirl?
yeah. He just gets very happy.
Yeah. Okay, who is most likely to call the restaurant manager to complain during a meal?
Neil. We just talked about that.
Actually, that yes would be me now. Before, the old me would never complain. The old
Just
me
eat it?
would just be like,
Fuck it,
you know
it's only
what?
a
It
toenail.
happens. It happens, right? So, all right, I don't want to make a big deal about it. I'll just eat it, But now, I've learned through mentorship as well. It's no, you work really hard and you go to a nice restaurant and you're paying top dollar for a meal. If it's not coming out the way you want it, tell them. They need to know, because if not, that could happen to other customers. And I was like, that makes total sense. So why would I want that to happen to other people? So I'm gonna say something. So now, yeah, I will. I'm not mean about it. I just bring it up to their attention, and restaurants are always really good about, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, let me take care of that. And I can appreciate that, because that's great customer service.
He's like, hey, asshole, I said blue cheese, not fucking ranch, all right? Sorry about your wings, sir.
They're like, oh, the restaurant's really nice about it. Then they're back here you go, sir. Okay, guys. Who is most likely to tell a joke that will get them in trouble?
Edwin.
Neil. No, you're a pervert.
You're-
You're a pervert.
I know how to.
I've been awkward in those jokes. I've been like, okay,
No,
we can't.
no.
Neil.
No, stop. Why are you
Neil.
attacking me today?
Because Neil. Neil.
Okay, first off, I'm gonna just say an experience today. So he assumed an older gentleman was a grandfather of a little trunk. He had just threw it out there, and I was like, yeah, that's someone
That's
who
not
would
a
say
joke, though. I'm saying you.
No, if you could assume that I'm gonna just say this random comment, you could definitely say some joke that would definitely be like, ooh, that was a little.
I
It's a
don't
little
know.
rough around the edges.
I'd still give it to him.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
These podcasts remind me of a really bad Zoom meeting, because from up here we all look good, and then down here we're all in our socks, just sweatpants and socks. All right, guys. So when was the last time we did our podcast interview?
It's been a while, I think.
Probably about 2 months ago.
2 months ago? Was that
Yeah,
when we did it?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I heard that there was a high demand for it, so we should have it more often these, just because people want to hear the new insight, new things that are happening, new changes and things like that. Especially lately, I think it's been really good. Gosh, have we gotten rid of some negative ass energy in our lives?
That was going to be my question. How have you guys
Okay.
been? How's the gym been?
The gym has been amazing. I mean, the atmosphere, the coaches have been amazing, the staff's amazing, the members are amazing. It's just like sunshine, you know what I mean? And I just think it's those levels that you go through, and this is part of life, and I think we'll go through them as we go, and it's just how we handle it, right? And I just think it's been amazing. I think, shoot, last night we had an amazing dinner. We had great, the energy's there, and continue to go.
You can definitely feel it.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel like there's an awesome energy shift in the gym now. It's just like the out with the bad, in with the good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what our mentors have also taught us, is that these things are always going to happen to any company in any industry. And when that happens, sometimes it's very easy to get like frantic and what's going on. But what it does is just opens the doors for more quality people to come in. And when one of my mentors, I heard him say that, I was like, my mind blew, and I was like, yes, I need to hear that. You know, I really need to hear that. And it was just a reminder, like, we've done nothing but good for people. You know, people that know me know I'm genuine about who I am as a person. I genuinely try to help people, not only in Muay Thai, but also in their own personal self-growth in their life. I try to make them the best. And for anyone that likes to talk bad about me, that just means they're just hurting inside, and they need to deal with that. And in order for them to blossom more as a human being, they got to deal with that first, you know. And it's just, it's sad to hear when people are always quick to point the finger at other people or other factors, as opposed to just, you know, looking within and just what's going on within, you know. And in order to have really true growth, they got to look from within first. You know, and I wish those people the best. I really hope that they're able to fix whatever is going on inside, because until that, there's always going to be bad stuff happening to them. You know, it is what it is.
You're nicer than I am.
Yeah,
That's
well,
for sure.
I just keep watching as we keep winning, as we keep growing. It's just never going to stop.
Yeah, and I think those things are a lot easier said than done. Well, because I feel like you guys have the experience in it, but when I was going through it with you guys, I was like, holy shit, like I was the one that was like, oh my god, like what are we gonna do? Where are we gonna go? Like how do we fix it? And then you guys were very, very calm during the storm. You were like, it's fine. Like the dust will settle and we'll move forward and we'll only get better. And then like right now, like when we saw the light at the end of the tunnel, like the last sparring class, I was like, wow, like we're good, guys. Like good things will continue to happen to good people. Just keep your eyes fixed on the goal and keep surrounding yourselves around the right people, and you'll be okay.
Absolutely.
We were kind of like the flight attendant. We're just going to run through some turbulence, but everything is going to be well.
I like that.
Give
You're
it about
like,
10 to 15 minutes, and blue skies all the way through to Las Vegas. And there we are. Look at where we're at.
We're in Vegas. No, we're like
Vegas.
the flight that Jen took, where she was freaking out because it was like during the middle of the hurricane that she took that flight.
Oh, yeah.
And
Did
then
you
the
hear about
pilots
it?
next to her were like so like calm, and she's like, "You guys are not helping me." They're trying to explain to her how the plane works. So that was for you guys. You guys are the pilots on the flight that I was taking during the hurricane.
I think with a lot of people in my position, like that's a head trainer at a gym, I think any trainer that's listening to this right now will agree, like you get backstabbed all the time. You invest, as a good coach, you invest everything into fighters, into students, because if you're a good teacher, you genuinely want to see people get better, not only in Muay Thai, but just in life. You just want to be that, you know, if I can help this person, and you're, at the end of the day, you'll give your all to people at the end of the day to get stabbed in the back. I've been stabbed in the back so many times throughout the years. But one thing that I love about myself is I've never let that change who I am as a person. I will continue to still be the same Kru Neil that will give his all to his members, you know, and just people who are around, because I genuinely like helping people. It's just generally who I am, and I think that's what will set us apart from the other people, is just, and what will continue to attract better people. You know what I mean? We can continue to help people, and that's what I love. And I love that we do this podcast. You know, every week we have a new episode coming out. Just we all agree, if this episode or any other episode we've done, if it can touch one person, it was so worth it.
Yeah. And can I actually will defend the backstabber, because, and I've said this before, or I don't even think they're bad. I just think they're individuals who don't know how to move on and cope, and really realistically how to speak to somebody. The easiest way to have a breakup with anybody is what? In a fight. doing something that's easy to be like, well, fuck you then, or whatever it is. It is really like, if I was just tired of you, let's just take for example, and I wanted to break up with you, it'd probably be more difficult for me to be like, hey, let's sit down. You know what? This isn't working out. I want to move on. Like, a lot of people don't know how do that conflict. It's very rare for people to do that, by the way. It's easier to be like, what the fuck? I hate that shirt, or this and that, or your hair, or blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Or like, no, I'm not breaking up with you. I'm not. I'm just saying, like,
I thought red was my color.
No, but listen, it's not, but I'm just saying, no. But I'm just saying, it is very scary for people to talk to people like that.
Yeah.
It is very scary for people
like
to quit their job and be like, hey, I'm not happy here. I'm moving on. It's better like to start an argument, to do something that wraps something up, because it's easier to be like, I'm done now.
Yeah.
It's easy. Unfortunately, that's how most people are. It's just people have never been taught that, and it's very hard, and it's very, me and Neil have had conversations where we have disagreements, and I say, hey, we need to work on this, or this is not going to work. Those are hard conversations that I've had with him. I don't want to do our business to break up, but I also understand, like, if this doesn't change, like, it's not worth it for us to be business partners. Yes or no, how we had him? It made you feel like shit, because it made me feel like shit. Like, it's an uncomfortable situation, but it takes, if you really want it to work, or you care about that person, you're going to have that hard conversation. You have to have that hard conversation. And people are cowards, and they'll rather fight and start up some shit and just leave than to be like, hey, you know what? I thank you for everything. I appreciate everything. This no longer is working out. We've had them multiple times. And guess what? We got over it, and we continue to go. Yeah. And we move on. And we worked on the things, because we're not perfect. He's not a perfect human. I'm not a perfect human. We fuck up in business all the time. But we look at it and we say, this is going to be a problem, and it's going to cause us friction for me and you, because I'm already feeling it. That's a really hard conversation for people to have. Yeah. And it's easier to fight with somebody, start something up, than it is to just lay it out and just be like, hey, because I'm telling you right now, I would rather somebody come up to me and be like, hey, you know what? I'm not happy. This is it. I want to move on. Like, what do you say to somebody? Oh, I hate for you to being honest with me. Like, how are you mad with? Yeah, it might hurt you a little bit, but long term, like, you see somebody and you're just like, hey, what's up, man? I hope you're well.
Yeah.
It's very hard for people to do that. I'm telling you, I've learned that in my years. Like, if you pay attention to people who break up with you, they'll normally start something up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's very true. That's a very true fact.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's why when we created our core values, it's family, loyalty, experience. That's our core values for the company, and we did it based off of like, the mirroring of what our members represent. Yeah. Under those pillars, what is there? I always, when I'm training somebody, I always go through the pillars, and I'm like, it says communicate. It says communicate under one of the pillars. What that means to us is that we are a company and a team that is willing to grow, change, and adapt as the seasons come, and as things change and we move with time and everything. We're not, like you said, we're not perfect, and we understand we're not perfect, so we're open to change. But if we don't know that something's wrong, like, how do we fix it? That's what I always tell my team, communicate. Like, let's rumble. Like, you tell me if I said something you don't like, or I'll tell you if you're doing something that I don't like, and we might not always agree.
And what's great about that is that's ultimately any relationship, right?
In
communication.
In anything.
In any circumstance, communication is the solid core that will allow any relationship to blossom. Because if there's no communication, there's no, hey, this made me feel a certain way, or, I don't like it when you do this. It's just gonna bottle up, and eventually you explode. And then, like you said, the easiest thing for people to break up is just explosion. But all that was built up from things that weren't said out loud to the other person. You know what I mean? So
death by 1,000 paper cuts, like they say. You know what I mean? Look, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's hard for most people. I think we've all had that experience at some point or another in our lives. But if you try it and you're honest with somebody when you no longer want something, it's like, for them, it's such a shock for you to be so straight up that they just don't know how to respond. I've done it like when I left a company, like either like a telephone company, or switched over, and I'll just be like, you know what, I'm just not happy with the prices. I got this better. Like, you'll be surprised how people on the other line are just kind of like, okay, like they don't know what to say. Just try it. Right.
I agree. You grow through what you go through, and I think everything we went through during that small period of time was definitely beneficial. I think our team needed that little shakeup, because now we're only stronger and better, and we got so much better people on the team. Like, I feel so strong in our team. But anyways, whatever. So what a lot of people don't know about you guys is that you guys were friends before you were business partners, but friends for a long time. Like when you guys were 20s?
20s.
20s?
20,
Yeah.
yeah, 24.
Awesome. Talk about that time. Because you guys are complete polar opposites. Like, I don't, like, how did that friendship cultivate?
I think that, well, first I was a student before we were friends. So I was a student, and
You
then,
were teaching already at that time?
I was
yeah.
teaching.
So I became a student. I just like most people fell in love with it. Was addicted to it. Spent all my time, all my days with it, and we just kind of built a friendship from there. And then Neil was just a very like good guy, training. Always, he was fighting at that time, competing and all that. But he really didn't have a life, right? For the most part, like he was just.
Well, but it's the truth because that's a true fighter.
Yeah.
When you're fighting actively, you don't have a life.
Just
All your
fighting.
time is committed to training. That's it. So you can laugh, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
I
You didn't
didn't.
have a life outside of Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Better
Yeah.
word to say.
There you go.
If you didn't have a life, you had a life.
Muay
100%
Thai.
focused on
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah.
what I meant to say.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to. Yeah. So he was just very chill, and like, I don't remember when it was, but I remember we were like, oh, let's go out, and we went to a club, and we went ham on that shit, huh?
When I wasn't fighting, yeah.
Like, yeah, when he
You went
wasn't.
to the club?
We
All
would
the
go
time.
like 3 to 4 times a week at
Yeah.
times.
We
All
can't
the
even
time.
get Kru to show up to dinner on time.
Life has changed a lot,
like-
Kim.
Yeah,
Life has changed a lot.
Kim. Let's put 20 years on you and let's see what happens, girl. Shit, you could barely get up to open 8 a.m.
Whoa. Okay, back to Kru.
I just threw it out
Back
there.
to
Shots
Kru.
I just threw it out
Shots
there.
fired.
So you
Even
had no
Gizmo was
life.
like,
All right, Kru. So you had no life. Go ahead. What were we talking about? Outside of Muay Thai?
Well, yeah, I didn't. I was just I've always been a very committed person.
Yeah.
So it was more or less like my training came first and then my teaching was second. And then I always lived by this rule like, all right, I'm a teacher now. I need to lead by example. So it was a matter of, but I've never done drugs. I've never drank anyways. That was never, for people that don't, I've never done drugs.
Even when you were
ever.
young?
Even when I've never done drugs.
Wow.
I'm gonna share a cool story with you. So I have a stepbrother. I was 18 or 19 years old at this time, and my stepbrother was like 17, about to be 18, and we were at a house party. And it was more of his group of friends. Like he knew these people from school, and so he invited me over. It's in the city of Walnut for people that know that area. And we got invited to this party. It's a house party. And everyone was doing acid. They were doing acid.
Oh my gosh, what kind of house parties did you
right?
go to?
Yeah, no, I didn't go
was
to
a
it. Was just,
normal
I got
thing.
invited to
Yeah.
one house party. So everyone's dropping acid in this house.
That's
And
crazy.
all his friends are like, hey, does your bro want to do it? Like, do you want to do it? And we're all looking at each other. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know. And everyone's like saying how great it is. And I'm not joking when I say I was this close to trying it. Because everyone, again, goes by proximity, right? The people that are around you, everyone was talking but there was something inside of me that was like, I don't know, man. Like, I've never done drugs. I've never wanted to. I don't see the benefit of it. And my stepbrother was like, I'll do it if you do it. So literally, it came down to me. If I would have done it, my stepbrother would have done it too.
Yeah.
But needless to say, I didn't do it. And my stepbrother, we left. And my stepbrother was like, bro, thank you so much. Like, I didn't really want to do it, but I would have done it if you would have done it. You know, I was like, no, I was like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, I'm so glad you didn't do it. So we didn't do it. But that
Talk
was the
about peer
closest
pressure.
thing.
Yeah.
That was the closest thing that I'd ever gotten so close to almost trying a drug. But I've never, and I obviously never went back to those type of parties. That was it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah.
So talk about your Clockwork Orange days.
It was an 80s club. It was cool. We just liked it. It was cool. We just went there probably like Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. I don't remember.
It was
Yeah.
a club.
Wednesday's Club.
It was a club that like one room played hip hop,
Uh-huh.
one room played hip hop, the other room played 80s.
Yeah.
So it was like a cool little mix.
Okay. Do you guys see any changes from? Well, of course, there's significant changes in you guys from like when you were younger to now. But what traits do you feel
Not really.
stayed the
Thanks,
same?
Flo. No.
Thanks, Flo. What traits do you guys still see like this? That same old Edwin, or you're like, oh, that's just Neil. That's Neil, how Neil's always been.
I get crazy when I'm drunk.
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
No, honestly, for Neil, I think he's always been very like disciplined and responsible and all that. And very, I don't think I think he's been very, like, he's just very clean, very respectful. Like, I just think now he's always had that wanting more out of life. And I think, you know, we were talking earlier, some things that held him back and like, or held him down that didn't allow him. But like, I know that he was telling me like on a personal level that some things that he had to let go because he has so much potential. Imagine if he would have done it 20 years ago, if he would have gotten this opportunity to run the business and all that, probably wouldn't need me, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, but nevertheless, like you see somebody who has it and you give them the opportunity and they run with it, and his discipline has definitely been a contributing factor to the success of the company.
Yeah.
And I think too, being a fighter has also helped me get coaching, right? Because I consider you one of my major mentors, and you know, I'm always taking in the guidance that you give me, and I'm able to apply it. And just like a fighter, you get taught something in the beginning. It's like you understand it, but trying to like incorporate it right into your life, into changing habits, it takes time. Everything takes time, but I'm always mindful of it. I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And eventually I just get better and better and better. And that's just the constant growth, just like being a Muay Thai practitioner. Everything takes time, but you gotta have someone in your corner, in your ear, that's constantly reminding you. And eventually I call it the light bulb effect. The light bulb effect hits and you're like, oh, I get it. So I've had many moments like that where I'm like, oh shoot, I get what Edwin's been trying to teach me. Like, I get the concept, and now I'm able to apply it. But I always tell him, buddy, just be patient with me. Like, I'm working on it, but it's just gonna take some time.
And by the way, we had a conversation last night after dinner with Kim, and I told her, I don't even think you asked me a question. I was like I've really never been like into partners, you know what I mean? Like having a business partners and stuff like that. But I was like, I'm so glad that I have Neil, who's so disciplined, and it's not really crazy, because I'm like, we make good money, you know what I mean? And we have a lot saved out, and I'm like, if this motherfucker would be like, let's go to a strip club and go pull out 20 grand, I'd probably be like, no, bro, okay, let's go. But like,
going back to, if I didn't have Neil, I'd be dead in a ditch on drugs.
No, but I'm just saying, like, okay, there's a part of me that's like the Gimp. Remember the Gimp and you let him out? You haven't even seen that movie. What are you laughing about?
The
you know what I'm talking
of it.
about, right? Like, he's chained up in Pulp Fiction. Like, that guy's still in there. Like, he's still in there. I know Paul has one too. Like, look at him. He's like, we all have that person if we've had crazy young age. I just don't. It's not there. And I just think it's when you have success and you grow and everything, you need to have good individuals and people around you, proximity, because I think that's why when you see people who become very famous or rock stars or like, especially people who are musicians, like if he's doing drugs and I'm gonna do drugs, and then there's bitches, then we're all gonna have bitches, and that's not the community we have here. Like, you're always clean, we're always clean cut, we're always wanting to eat better. The people that we hang out with, it's always like, hey, family, business, loyalty, working out, and like, I know that, and I'm like, I need that, and I stay away from everything old, and that's why I tell Kim, like, I don't care to look at my past. She like, you could think, and this is especially for you, I could think, I haven't done drugs in 13 years, okay? If I was to go back with my old friends and be there in that situation and be like, hey bro, let's just hang out, let's have a drink and dinner or something like that. If I do it enough, even if I'm like, I'm strong, I'm way better, I make more money, dude, I'm just gonna help them out, hear them out. I promise you, it's only a matter of time before that shit snowballs into something comes up, something happens, an emotion, something gets opened up. I know that because I'm like, it happens to people all the time.
You have a bad
That's why
day
people
or
laugh.
something,
Yeah, you have a bad day, you're angry or somebody, just like you were with your brother, just, I'll do it if you do it. And you're in that. You put yourself in that situation and you put yourself in a position where like you could fall. And that's why I, for myself, choose not to fuck with anybody in my past or even people who are successful that I know that have bad habits, because I just don't want to put myself in that situation. Look, people could say, I'm faithful, I will never do it again, I'm doing this. But at the end of the day, like, you have to be smart enough to put yourself in positions and give yourself the advantage to know that, hey, I'm in good company. Does that make sense? Like, I'm with you, because I know I'm in good company. I'm with you because I know I'm in good company. But if one of you guys had a really fucked up situation where you're like, come on, try this a little bit.
Yeah.
If you hang around with somebody enough, maybe not the first time, maybe not the second time, but eventually one format or another is gonna fall and you're gonna be there. And I'm telling you, that shit's a bitch. And before you know it, you're fucked up, dude. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, going back to our partnership, I love it because I'm like, whenever we do go out, it's like, hey, all right, dude, like, Jen wanted ice cream yesterday, and you're like, do you want to ride home?
You want to ride home or you want ice cream? I was like,
do you want
dang,
ice
bro.
cream? And I was like, damn, he just saved you from some calories, girl.
Yeah.
But I'm serious, dude. Like, that's, hey, I'm going to take you home, but it's now. Like, that's who you are. I don't care what people say. That's who you are, and if they don't want to ride, then don't fucking ask for one.
That's right.
Some people might be like, oh, but it's just ice cream. Doesn't matter. Like, that's what it is. You know what I mean?
Jen never asked for ice cream ever again around Kru.
But you know, but imagine, like Kim, sometimes she'll be like, oh, one more drink or one more this. I get it. Sometimes I don't want to, and she gets mad at me, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to. I got tomorrow. I want to be great. I don't. At least she's with me. But imagine if because she has it and she's still young, like she still has it. She still has those in her.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit stronger because I'm like, I have a lot of shit going on tomorrow. I got this, and I don't want to. You know what I mean? So like, there's times she gets upset.
I gotta do burpees first thing in the
She
morning.
gets
Burpees at
upset.
4
You know what I
a.m.
mean? And it's like, but like, imagine if she puts herself in a situation. If she's not strong enough, the next person you're just gonna fall to it.
But that was, and just going back to that too, like what you said, you'll decline a drink because you got stuff going on, and that's why I told Jen, I was like, Jen, do you still need a ride? She was like, yeah. I was like, okay, then we got to go now because I have to get up early tomorrow because I'm teaching all the classes in North Hollywood. So that's me being responsible and disciplined. Like, I got stuff to do tomorrow. I'm not trying to stay out late.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm telling you guys, like, people think because they're good, working out, eating right, not hanging around with with the wrong people, whatever, going to church and anything, like, we live in a world that has sin and has evil and has everything, and good people die, bad people die, babies die, people live, like, everything happens in this world. And if you don't protect yourself in your circle of yourself or anything around you, and something gets in, you're fucked, dude. I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time. You're better. That's why if you look at most people, they're normally alone, or they have their circle so small and they don't allow people in. I'm telling you, I've met high profile people and they will not let me in. Like, they don't know who I am. They don't know what my intentions are. I don't blame them. You know what I mean? Like, some people take it personal. Like, I have people all the time be like, hey, can I take you out to lunch? I want to pick your brain or whatever it might be. I'm good. You know why? Because I see maybe that lifestyle, the way you work or the way you're doing it, that I'm not going down.
Yeah.
You need to level the fuck up. Like, I'm not gonna give you the time. I am not gonna go out to lunch, to dinner with nothing with anybody who's not gonna serve me a purpose. And it might sound evil or bad in the other way around if you're not running towards something that you want really bad. But you have to protect your ears and your eyes, dude. Yeah. You have to.
Because, going back to your coach, sorry, Kim, I was just going to add to that, too. It's like you said, you see their habits. Is this person worth me even investing my valuable time to mentor this person? Because maybe they're not even ready for it. And it's the same thing I use for Muay Thai. When people are like, Kru Neil, I want to fight. My first thing is, okay, show me. Mm-hmm. Show me you want it. And it just goes back to Muay Thai. Like, people think, oh, well, Kru Neil, I go every day. I take multiple classes. I'm ready to fight. No, you're not. You still have a lot more to work on. Well, what do you mean? Well, you're not fixing this, and this. Your mind is weak. Like, it's hot. You're constantly complaining about the heat. Like, you're not ready to fight. You're complaining about heat. You know how hot it is in the ring? You know, a lot of people don't realize when the lights are on, it's hot in the ring. You're fighting for your life. You're hot. It's your first time fighting, you got a headgear on. You know how much heat forms in that headgear? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like knowing who's ready for that mentorship, who's ready for that guidance. A lot of people aren't ready for it yet, but think they are.
Yeah.
But it happens all the time, and some
does.
people will only hear their voice, and it boggles my mind. Like, you're just like, fuck it, you fuck up your life, then I'm not gonna do mine. Yeah. So, what's your next question?
Anyways, no, I'm kidding. That was good, guys. But going back to MTK, when you guys trained with Kru Rex, I know there was definitely like a different culture and like energy that there was like an MTK. Describe that culture then and the culture now that we have, and like where did you guys cultivate that culture from? Like, did it just naturally come with the people that you guys are initially, because it starts from the top and then trickle down to your members? Eventually you guys started attracting those?
Well, I'll start off. I'll answer that question as a student, and he could answer it as the business part, because that was totally different time frames for the both of us. As a student, I think what they had then, we still have now, which is culture. I think the community of the friends that I had and the moments that I had was, you felt a part of something that was greater than you. You felt something that was good for you. You felt like anything. The reason people most likely join gangs and stuff like that is because you want to be part of a group, right? Yeah. It was an amazing time in a sense that what was out there in the street and the things that I was doing prior to that was no good for me. That when you found something that made you feel good, made your body feel good, made the exercise and all that feel good, like it was addicting. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was like, I'm not sure what part of the body that they talk about that the brain releases it, that you want more and more. And everybody, we see it all the time. Everybody goes through that addiction of like, wow, this is amazing, because we serve something that's great. And I think we still have that in our gym, and most gyms have that, people who just give it enough time and are committed for themselves to continue to go, that they experience that. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, most people quit way too soon before they allow it to blossom, you know? Yeah. So for me, I think we had that. As far as the business-wise, I wasn't there in that part, but I'm sure it was different from the way we run it now.
Yeah. I can still answer that question, and absolutely the culture has never changed. It's just on a bigger scale now. Mm-hmm. Muay Thai, and me being half Thai, I grew up under Thai culture. And that's what Thai culture, if you've ever been to Thailand, you will know Thai people are the friendliest, most welcoming people ever. And when you do Muay Thai, regardless of what gym you go, if they're true Muay Thai practitioners, you will feel welcomed in their gyms. You will feel there will be this family that kind of creates. And that's what MTK was. My mom, Kru Rex, we're Thai, so that's all we know. This is who we are as people. Everyone that walks into our gym, you're family now. Yeah. Regardless of how long you stay with us, you're family. And that's ultimately all that's happened, is we've just scaled bigger. Now we have a bigger family. You know, we are one of the biggest, loudest gyms when our fighters fight. We have the biggest entourage that comes through, you know what I mean? And a lot of people that have known me throughout the years, the commissioners, the inspectors, they're just like, Kru Neil, man, dude, your gym's something else. I hear it all the time in every fight. Man, Kru Neil, your gym is something else. Yeah. And they mean it in a good way. They see the compassion and the love that our members have for our fighters is so incredible. Yeah. That's awesome. So, but yeah, to answer kind of what Edwin was saying earlier, like the business model has definitely changed. Edwin has just brought on that knowledge of business that has allowed us to just really open up to more people. Yeah. You know, we didn't have that before. I love my mom to death, but it was just limited beliefs, limited knowledge, and just kind of fear of like, you know, believing in other people to come on board to help, because we could only go so far with Kru Rex, my mom and myself. There's only 3 of us. There's only so much we can do, you know what I mean? But I loved how Edwin's like, yeah, because I've always known this stuff, like, I need more people. My mom's like, no, you can't trust them. What? Like, how can we succeed then? But Edwin understands that, so he brought that on board, and I'm like, yes. Now we can start moving, because I understood that stuff. I just needed help. I needed somebody who thought differently. You know what I mean? Not the old traditional, old school way of like, no, we're good like this. Yeah. You know, so yeah, I'm thankful. Yeah. Thankful for you too, buddy.
And honestly, that is, I'm glad I experienced both worlds, just because I just think you gotta love with what you do, and everything else will follow. And I think because I was a student first before becoming a partner, I think it'd be different, right? If we brought somebody on board and they're like, they don't know anything about Muay Thai, but they see the business opportunity, I think there'd be more conflict. But because we understand it and we love it and all that, and just all it was he had something great. how can we bring it to the masses? Does that make sense? That's
You
all it
you
is.
had a mentor who told you not to do it, right?
Yeah, I
So
did.
where was the line where you teeter, like, because you, like, you know, you have mentors for a reason to guide you from any mistakes that could have
Right.
made. So what was the difference in that advice that you were like, no, I'm jumping in?
My gut, you know what I mean? I think it was my gut and just really thinking about it and just really honing in on, like, which I understand what he said, but I just felt like he's never done
You
Muay
didn't see the
Thai.
value in it.
Not so much that he didn't see the value, it's because I have at least, if I had never done Muay Thai and he came up to me and be like, hey, I need a business partner, I would have listened to him. But because I've done Muay Thai and I'm like, if we could influence enough people to talk about MTK, the word would spread with good values that we have.
Yeah.
And I was all like, so it's like saying, hey, invest in this pizza place, right? And it's amazing. And you've never eaten pizza and you're just street business. And I tell you, don't do it. You're most likely going to be like, all right, it doesn't make sense. But if you're like, bro, you don't understand. This lobster pizza is amazing. I've had it. It's good and this and that. It's addicting. Every time I go, I have to take some home to my family. And you've been a product of the environment. Like, then you're more likely to be like, you know what? That shit's going to sell.
That makes
so
sense.
I think I took that into perspective, into consideration. Like, okay, this person's never done it. You know, how far is it? And then their business. And I think sometimes we ask for advice, and I'll tell this to everybody. Like, not all the advice it's gonna flow with you. You know what I mean? I always ask for advice, and sometimes I think about it, and you know, we do it all the time in Loud Rumor, and we have mentors there, and we've learned that, like, we have something good, and sometimes if it's working for us and we're happy, don't change it. You know what I mean? But there's also been things that they've taught us that we've switched up and it's scaled us all the way. I think that you want to listen and have somebody give you advice from their point of view, but ultimately you make that decision to see what's best.
Take
you know
what
I mean?
you can use for yourself, what's going to benefit. Because at the end of the day, you know your gut. You hear something, you're like, yes, I can use that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I can use this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some things here, you're like, that's not going to work for my business model.
But it definitely, knowing the product or the service is a huge contributing factor. Because if you have never tasted the most amazing pizza and I tell you to invest, what is the first thing you're going to tell me? Let me taste it. He never tasted it. And that's, I really put that in my head, and I was like, okay, he's never done it. I've done it. I know this shit can go if it scales up. Nobody's ever done it. And that's why we are where we're at. 600 and something members.
And on top of
Two
that
locations.
too, because of our relationship, he knew who I was as a person. He's like, I could see, because he told me, this is why I'm saying it. He told me, he's like, because I know you, buddy. I love you as a person, and you definitely have something special here. And that's why he not only was a customer, right? He was a student, but he saw the culture, but he knew me as a person, my work ethic, and he was like, yeah, we can definitely do something special together. And that's ultimately what helped it, because that's what he told me.
Yeah, because,
You know?
and then just so you guys know, which I think we recently talked about it, like, at the end of the day, no matter how good or value I bring, it's his company.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, he is Muay Thai. He is MTK.
He's the face of
Does that,
MTK.
you know what I mean? Like, that's, like, if he wasn't, he couldn't be like, well, we're 50-50, like, you have to do as much as I do. He has to be so like, with or without you, motherfucker, I'm gonna do this shit. But we're together, show me. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
if I die, he still runs with it now that he knows the mechanics of it, right?
Yeah.
You have to think like that. Because if we're like, well, if you don't do it, then I'm not gonna move. It's never gonna work. Because at the end of the day, he's the flag carrier for the company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like him partnering up with me and being like, hey, bro, I really see artistic has value. I don't know shit about it, but I want to invest. At the end of the day, it's up to me, because I know cars, I know relationship, this and that. He could show me the scale, but at the end of the day, if I fucking die or leave and I'm not committed to it, it's gonna fail regardless, no matter how good he is. That's why, something that was very important to me, to convince him to be like, if I don't move, you continue to move. If I'm not here, you continue to run this bitch. Like, you continue to go because you're the flag carrier of this business. Anyway, I think I had the screw analogy, where like you're the tip of the screw and you're penetrating through everything, and we're like the spiral of it, the head and everything behind it, forcing it with you. And if that's just dull in the front and it's not sharp in the front, and you're not going and leading us in the front, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And that's why we have worked so hard, and it's worked for us because.
Well, this is my plan A. I don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
The MTK is going to get to what we've all envisioned, because I've always wanted, at a young age when I started teaching, I knew we had something special, and I always thought it'd be so cool to have Muay Thai, like MTK, all around the United States. Like, I've always wanted that at a young age. I'm just learning how to do it now, and I love it. And so there's no plan B for me. This is what I've ultimately always wanted, and now I'm getting a chance to do it with someone I trust, someone that brings amazing passion as much as I do. So I'm excited for the growth of MTK and how many people can really experience Muay Thai in a safe place.
Yeah.
You know, I love how our gym just posted something about Flo. Shout out to Flo, girl. Flo's like, I love MTK because it's a safe space.
Yeah.
We provide a safe space for her all the time, and it's just the community and the value. She's like, it's like, I love coming, you know, and I love that, and that's who I ultimately want to expose Muay Thai to, for the people that have been interested in it, but I don't know, I don't want to be a fighter, but I want to try this. This looks so cool. That's what MTK provides, that experience. Like, hey, anyone can try this. Come on board. We'd love to have you. And if you want to be a fighter too, come on too. We got you as well. Yeah. We got everyone in any different, whatever your why is, we got you.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I will never stop. MTK is my life. And I think everyone that knows me will agree. Like, Kru lives, breathes, and sleeps Muay Thai. Like, that's all I do. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I want to use to help people.
I love it. So you need that in order. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you need that. So I think knowing that and just asking for advice, I just didn't know either. You know what I mean? Like, that was my first partnership of actually doing something, you know? So, but yeah, there's passion there. So made a great decision,
sure.
right?
Yeah. There is passion. You guys are both very, very passionate business owners.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it so easy to work under you guys. Because, you know, I mean, you have, or I've worked in businesses where it's like, the owner's the owner, you know, and it's like you have to listen to them because they're the owner, but they just like, it's just a job day in and day out. But like, working for MTK has definitely been a huge pleasure because of the culture you guys have cultivated, the people I've gotten to meet, and like the teams I've gotten to build, you know. So it definitely starts from the top and it trickles down to your people. And I think you can see it within me and Jen. Like, we're not just like the regular employees, you know, but that, like, and it's great because it starts from the top. So if the owners are passionate about what they do and they have a vision, like how that post that you said, like, you can tell somebody has a vision without them having to tell you that there's a vision. So that's definitely what you guys have.
Yeah.
So I will end it there, guys. I think we have some good content. I have a bunch more questions that I could go through, but
we have more episodes coming
we have
up
more
with
episodes
you.
coming up. So thank you guys for letting me host you guys again.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that you guys do for MTK. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, guys, that's another episode of Muay Thai Save Me. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys are interested in hearing some more of this content. Thank you, and good night.
That's good.